Okay, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the ninth episode of the Sport Updates podcast. I'm your host, as always, Sam Fonseca, and today I'm joined by my good friend, Steph.
Hey, I'm doing great. You didn't ask the question, but I read your mind. Um,
Great minds
well,
think alike,
yeah,
they say.
exactly. Today should be another great podcast. We have two guests. I'll let you introduce the guests and go ahead, Sam.
Yep, speaking of the two special guests, first up we have the founder of the new podcast, Highly Contested. Give that a follow. It's Bruno.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's everyone doing?
Good, good. Well, not after that game, but in general, good.
Right.
And finally, we have Danny at Danny_S.
What's going on, boys? Live and direct from the University of York.
Nice to know your studying is going well.
Yeah, Sporting just made it worse. I think I'm going to be distracted after this for another fucking 3 hours.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
While you're here, don't forget to follow the Sporting Updates account on Twitter at SCP Updates EN. But before we get into the podcast, just a quick note on the fires in Portugal. Everyone here wants to give their thoughts and prayers out to everyone who suffered in this tragic incident, lost homes, lost lives. And shout out to all the hardworking firefighters out there who risk their lives trying to save us, and stop this mess. So, like I said, thoughts and prayers go out to everyone. It was a nice touch today. Juventus held a minute silence for the victims. So, shout out to Juventus as well. That was a really classy move from them. Speaking of Juventus, pretty much there's no questions. We'll just get straight into the review. If you missed it, which I don't know why you'd be here if you missed it, but we played Juventus today, which unfortunately ended up in a 2-1 defeat. Pjanic and Mandzukic scored for Juventus, and we scored from an own goal from Alexandro, former Porto player. Lineup is as followed. So we got Rui Patricio in goal, Cristiano Piccini, El Patron Sebastian Coates, Jeremy Mateu, Fabio Coentrao, Rodrigo Battaglia, William Carvalho, Bruno Fernandes, Marcos Acuna, Gelson Martins, Bas Dost, Jonathan Silva came in for Coentrao, Pellini came in for Gelson, and Dumbia came in for Battaglia. So I'll give this one to Steph first. What did you think of the game, Steph?
Well, the first half, we actually, the first few minutes, Sporting came out blazing. They were pretty good. That's when we scored the goal, the own goal by Alexandro in minute 11. After that, Juventus, they started playing the game. They basically evened the playing field, and they tied the game. That was a foul from Battaglia. He did put his elbow on
It's a stupid foul, I would add
Yep.
anyway.
Yeah, it's a stupid foul because of where it is, outside the box. And then they have so many, they have so many good players that they know how to take those direct kicks. I mean,
Also, as well, Battaglia was lucky not to get like a red card. Obviously, an elbow is a red card, and he did it right in front of the referee. So, just
yeah,
my thought was that as well.
the red card would have been too harsh because almost every player, when they jump for the ball, they use the elbows. There's not one single player that don't use the elbows. Sometimes it's for protection as well. But did you see that wall when they scored the direct kick? They had like
Yeah,
11 players on that wall. Rui Patricio didn't see the ball, taking off, and and that was a good goal. That was a good goal. But the first half, Juventus was slightly better. We played good defense. Again, Justin Martins, I don't know what's going on. I have no clue what's going on with him. Bas Dost as well. I don't see them motivated. I don't see them giving 100%. The remaining of the team, they did what they were supposed to, and then here comes the second half. So the halftime was 1-1, pretty good. Made me feel good. Second half, I was really content. Sporting playing well on the Juventus midfield. We kind of dominated for a good portion of the second half. We showed them that we have a team, we could play face to face against you guys, and that's what we did. But again, the sector that last year gave us the most, this year is giving us the least, which is the offensive sector. I don't know what's going on. Seriously, I'm very concerned now with Justin Martinez and Bas Dost. I'm expecting more from them, and I'm not seeing much. And then we suffered that goal again. Jonathan Silva, he lets himself anticipate by the Juventus striker, and again, it's Jonathan Silva. Like you said on Twitter, Sam, you said that you would rather have Quintana in a wheelchair than him playing healthy. And
Yep.
And I tend to agree with you. I don't know. It's becoming a huge disappointment. He doesn't know how to mark anybody, and again, we lost because of him, because he couldn't mark a player. But overall, Sporting, he left a good image. But I'm sick and tired of saying this. We're leaving. Barcelona was the same thing. Oh, we played well. We left a good image, but we still lost. We can't go over that hump. And as a Sportingista, it's getting frustrating. It's like it's games that we should at least tie. Or find a way. We have to find better ways to neutralize our opponents. And if we have to get another left back, let's get another left back, because I don't think Jonathan Silva will cut it. Again, Cointreau left because of an injury. I'm getting sick and tired of that shit too. But until Cointreau was on the pitch, the left wing was doing fine. And again, Jonathan Silva come to the pitch and we'd lose the game. And he's involved again with that crucial play. So you could say I'm very disappointed, because I was expecting at least a tie, and we could have tied. And we lost again in the final minutes of the second half, which is very, very frustrating, losing when there's just a few minutes left. It's like I want to punch the wall or punch someone I know, which I won't say his name. But that's it. That's my take on it. And I was just expecting a draw. I was crossing my fingers. I was doing everything, but any kind of rituals. But that's it.
So, Steph, who is your man of the match?
For me, it's Piccini. He was amazing on the right wing. Amazing. So Piccini for me.
And your worst player?
I don't have just one. I have two. So for me, it was Bas Dost and Justin Martins, because it looks like they have a lack of motivation, and I have no clue why.
And if you were going to give the sporting team rating out of 10, what would you give it?
I'll give them a 7. The team fought well. The tactic was perfect. Juventus, they know what's up now. When they go to José Alvalade, I'm pretty sure they will play more conservative, and they'll play the Italian way, which is to defend and counterattack. So I think Sporting, if the goal is to introduce the Sporting team to the Champions League stage level, now they look at us differently, saying, "Wow, these guys, they're pretty good." But we have to be more cold-blooded in front of the goal.
Yeah, I agree. And for the next, I'll go up next for my review. And for me, I agree with everything you said. But the thing that I disagree with, you said that these games, it pisses you off because these games that you say we could draw, it could get a point from. I'd say that the games against Barcelona and Juventus, we definitely could have come away with a win. The only problem that we lack is that, so for Barcelona and Juventus, first half, the tempo was high, lots of players running around putting pressure. And it's like last year as well. We can do that for the first 20 minutes or the first 45. But then onwards, everyone just loses focus. So they lose energy, which is obviously in a football match. But I feel like, especially with our front, the defence for me didn't put a foot in wrong all game until obviously Jonathan Silva came in. But for me, the defence is always rock solid, always full of energy, and I just wonder why the strikers aren't doing the same, and the wingers, like you said, Dost and Gelson, they've gone missing this season. They've been arguably the worst players that this season in general that who has started for us, and which leads to the fact that if Dumby was 100% fit, why wasn't he not playing in this game? I don't think he was 100% fit, but if he was, why didn't he start? And also, we were drawing 1-1 since, was it the end of the first, right? Is when they scored?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know if it was towards the end or like middle. Let me see if I can find it.
And instead of bringing on Dumbia, so I get playing for the point or whatever, but we could win that game. It's not like we were parking the bus the whole game. We were attacking, we were going forward, but he brings in Paulinho for Gelson Martins. Yes, Gelson Martins, shit game. But Paulinho, why bring a CDM for a winger? Bring on Podence, who can play in the winger role. Bring in Dumbia, who I guess you can, I don't know. But Dumbia and Podence needed to come on instead of Paulinho for me. Paulinho is a great player, I will say. But in a game like that, we need to pace. We need to attack. Whenever we play for the point, we always end up losing. And that's a factor I've been seeing a lot. We play for the point at Juventus. Juventus, we lose. Play the point at Barcelona, we lose. We need to start going for the attack instead of inviting the pressure to come onto us. For me, my man of the match is, I could say any one of the defense that started the game, I could have given it to them because they were all fantastic. For me, Mateo was outstanding. There was this one chance on Higuain where I think it was Higuain. It might have been Dybala, but threw on goal, literally tapped it, and Mateo just stuck his foot out and got a stud to it, sending it for a corner. And so for me, it was between him and Coates. Both, I think, if they were on a different team, say a Barcelona, a Juventus, they'd be considered, any one of them would be considered one of the best in the world. That might just be bias coming from me, but honestly, this season, I don't think you can say Coates had a bad game or Mateo has had a bad game. They've been fantastic. Great job by the accounting department and George Jesus to get those deals done, especially Mateo. Obviously, coming from Barcelona, it's got to be quite high wages. And then also the worst players, I say players because I'm definitely not just picking one. I'm saying Dost, Gelson, and Jonathan. I know Jonathan, people say, he didn't have enough time. When he came on, this is what I remember him doing. He comes on, he from a pass from Monica Valley, he fall over, and they go on the counter, they miss. I know Mandzukic, we all know he's tall, he's massive, but he's got to do a better job of defending a man marking that corner than he did. Gelson probably could have done a better job at defending than Jonathan Silva did on Mandzukic. Jonathan Silva literally waited. He literally was looking at the ball, waiting for it to come to him, not thinking, there might be someone behind me, there might be someone from my left. He waited for it, and then he fucked us. And that keeps happening. Jonathan Silva comes on, and he fucks us up. It nearly happened with Olympiacos. We were 3-0 up and 3-2 just because of Jonathan Silva making two stupid mistakes. Why does Jonathan Silva get ahead of the pecking order instead of Ristovski? We've seen Ristovski play, and he's brilliant. He's been brilliant every time he plays. I am yet to see a great game from Jonathan Silva, and I doubt if I oversee one because he's been so poor. And speaking of which, Cohen Trowell, did you guys see? He was pissed when he got ball off. He was staring George Jesus down and everything. And the thing that annoyed me, if he was injured, he was carried out. He carried out on his own 2 feet. No stretcher, no medical personnel. It was literally him walking off on his own 2 feet. He looked fine to me. So that's pissing me off. That Fabio Cohen looked fine, and George Jesus, I think, maybe panicked and saw him holding his hamstring, which has been a problem for him this season. But anyone but Bruno Cesar was on the bench. Bring on Bruno Cesar instead of Jonathan Silva. Jonathan Silva doesn't even deserve to be at a team like Rio Ave or Guimarães. He deserves to be the second division of Portuguese football. He's so poor. So for me, and hold up, I forgot to mention Dost as well. Everyone knows that I'm a massive fan of Bas Dost. This season, he's been awful. He doesn't put pressure. Dremba's got Slimani a few years ago. He would put pressure on Chiellini and Bozzagli and Benassia. Dost literally just watches them pass. He literally stands still, walks like 2 centimeters to the left and stops. Gelson as well. He's invisible. He tries to take too many players on. He passes it and loses the ball, or he'll dribble it and lose the ball. So yeah, those 3 are just awful and they need to improve. But the overall team rating, I would say 7, but I want to give him a 6 just because I feel like the defense was fantastic, but there's no... you can't have a good defense without a good attack, which pisses me off as well. So I'll give him a 6. And we've also got a comment in the YouTube chat from the real Alf Frenzy. He said, Ristovski is a right back, not a left back. But to that, I'd say at least try him at left back. Can't be any worse than Jonathan Silva is.
No, he has played left back actually. I did a
Has
little
he?
bit of research, yes, and he could actually play left back as well. He's a right by nature. He's a right fullback, but he has played left fullback for his last team and his national team as well.
Yeah, and for Macedonia against Italy, he was playing either right or left center back. So he's a very versatile player. So I agree with you, Sam.
Yep.
He said he also just commented as well. We need another good left back. I'd love to get the old Jefferson back, but Jefferson last season was poor. So I don't think Jefferson. I don't think we really need to buy another left promote from the academy. Would be a better attract. I give the Sporting team a 6 out of 10, and I'll give this next review. I'll give it to Danny. Go on. What was your review on the game? Your thoughts?
So we started off very, very good, and it led to the goal. But I don't know what happened right after we scored the goal. I guess we just we dropped. We were more worried about defending than we were attacking. When we would go to the counter attack, nothing would really work. We would give away stupid fouls after stupid foul, like Bataglia and just outside the box, who Juventus have probably one of the best free kick takers in the world in Pjanic, and even Dybala is incredible. So yeah, and then we easily give up a goal from a dead ball, from a foul that didn't need to happen. And yeah, first half Sporting were very poor. Like after the first 10 minutes or so after we scored that goal, we just dropped. It was demoralizing. We needed to change, and I'm glad that when we came out in the second half, we were a much better team. We were better defensively. We were better offensively. We were actually holding the ball in their midfield. We were keeping possession. We were doing great passes. I wasn't happy today with William. He's usually better when coming to the pass. When what's the word I'm looking for? When transitioning from defense to attack. Today, some of his passes were poor. Some of our passes passing it out of the box were poor. Some of our clearances were poor. I think Quats had a really bad game today too. There's a few times where there was one time where he could have cleared it out of the box, and we gave a free shot, I think, to Higuain. Mm-hmm. Gelson didn't have the greatest of games. I don't think he was bad. Don't get me wrong, but he contributed to more than just offensively. He did have some bright spots. When we were holding possession of the game, he was still one of our better players going forward. We were looking more to Gelson than we were at Cunha. In the first half, Cunha was basically asleep. We weren't going on the left side. We were attacking more on the right with Gelson. Of course, crosses could have been better. Piccini had one cross in the box that went over. I don't know. Even still, the second half was good enough that we should have tied at least this game. Jorge Jesus really pissed me off when I think it was the wrong moment in time to put in Pilinha for Gelson. I'm all for pragmatism. One of my favorite managers is Mourinho. I'm a big fan of hard, gritty, fought out 1-0 wins. I'm a big fan of winning battles in the midfield. So him going for a more pragmatic view of it, I didn't mind that. I just think the timing was off. As we're holding possession, I don't think we should have been looking more to go for the kill rather than hold on to the 1-1, especially in that good period. We should have only held back after when we would have lost a bit of gas. I think Doumbia came in too late. I think Jorge Jesus got that wrong. Aside from winning balls from goal that Rui Patricio would boot from the midfield, Bastos did nothing. Bastos, I don't know what the hell's wrong with that guy, but even last year when he was scoring goals, you can see that a player like Slimani with similar characteristics is a lot better because he'll actually fight for every ball. He'll provide more than just score goals. He'll provide on the build-up play, whereas Bastos doesn't do any of that. Bastos is more to win the headers, to get the tap-ins, to get the goals, and I think we need a different sort of character. He needs to change his game up, or at least have a bit more confidence in his scoring ability. Mm-hmm. I think Jorge Jesus really towards the end really screwed us over. Bas Dost, I think our worst player was between Bas Dost and of course Jonathan Silva. He never should have. I try to defend him as much as I can because I think he gets very harsh criticism towards him because he is a good fullback going forward. He does provide a lot, especially even this season. We've seen him and Acuna interact quite well with each other. Whereas, because Acuna is not he's not a winger that loves attacking. He's also a winger that defends. Whereas Jonathan Silva is just a fullback that he just goes up and all he wants is to reach the other opponent's box. So defensively he's terrible, but offensively he's good. Today again he let us down. I think that's probably the third goal in this Champions League campaign that was his fault.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened with Cointreau. Cointreau was my man of the match. He was incredible. He was reminding us of the Cointreau back in Benfica, the Cointreau back in Real Madrid, the Cointreau that wasn't really hurdled with injuries. He was incredible today. So for him, first when he went down and he got injured, I was scared. And then when he got up and it seemed fine, I was all right. This is all good. And then Jorge Jesus, switches him off for. It looked like he was fine. So I don't know if Jorge Jesus just didn't like the way Fabio Cointreau was on the floor, or I don't know. I don't know what Jorge Jesus was going, or a miscommunication between the medical staff and Jorge Jesus. I just know that to me, Fabio Cointreau never should have came off. It looked like he was fine, and it's a shame because he was having probably one of the best games in a Sporting shirt.
What was your overall team rating out of 10?
I'll give us a 6. First half we weren't good enough at all. Second half we were a lot better, but still not good enough when it came to the final ball, the killer pass, the shot on goal sort of thing.
All right, fair enough. Bruno, the floor is yours.
All right, so I thought the first half was complete shit, if I'm being honest. We lacked creativity. We lacked an attack. Of course, defensively, we can all agree on that it's by far the best side of the ball that we have on this squad. Everyone on the defense, for the most part, did good. Offensively, passes weren't connecting. We couldn't dribble. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on with us, but we're really lacking creativity, and it's honestly pissing me off because last year we were so great on the attack. I think we have better attacking players this year too. So what the hell is going on to the point where we can't even get crosses in? We can't get shots in. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Sporting, but I'm definitely worried going forward. Battaglia committed that stupid foul on that free kick, which of course, Juve being Juve, I mean, such set piece specialists in Dybala and Pjanic. And I actually think Rui Patricio thought Dybala was going to take it because he kind of hesitated for a second. And then once Pjanic took it, I think it caught him a little bit by surprise as well. But either way, I don't even think Rui Patricio would have gotten to that. It was just a hell of a free kick. Pacini had a great game today defensively. Guach, I think, did another great job defensively. Same with Mathieu. And my man of the match, I'm going to agree with Danny, it was Fabio Cointreau. I thought he was absolutely perfection. This was probably his best game in a Spartan uniform. And he held Guadrado, whatever his name is. Yeah, he held him down, man. I mean, he had him step by step. And then in the second half, I was scared. I thought he got hurt from the way he reacted, but then he got up fine. So I was like, okay, maybe I guess he just wants to waste time or whatever. And then Jorge Jesus made the sub, and I'm just thinking to myself, why? Because Cointreau seemed fine, and he was pretty pissed off that he did come off. Now I don't know if Jorge Jesus is like maybe they're on like a time thing because usually this is when he got subbed out at like what 75th. Close to the 80th minute. So I know this is usually when he comes out of the game. So maybe they still have this as a plan moving forward. But I mean, he seemed fine. It didn't seem like he was tired or fatigued or anything. I mean, he was having a massive game for us. So kudos to him. He was my man of the match. I think Rui Patricio, that Higuain shot in the first half, it was a rocket. It was a rocket. and good on his part to save that shot from that close distance. Our attack, Gelson, I don't know what the hell is going on with the kid. At first, we were all thinking to ourselves, maybe it's fatigue, but I mean, I think we can all agree on he's had 2 weeks with the international break to get things back on track, and for whatever reason, it's not working for him, man. There was this one play where he was one-on-one against Chiellini and kind of just passed it to him. I don't know what the hell he did. He was trying to dribble around him, and he literally just looked like he was passing it to him. So it looks like he lacks confidence now. He's not playing his confidence with the confidence he used to play with. Acuna, again, we need better attacking from him. Tenacious player, hard worker, but I was expecting when we got him, I was expecting deliveries, man. The crosses to Bastos, Doumbia, like we were gonna have our two wingers, delivering more balls into the boxes, and that really hasn't been the case this year, unfortunately. And Bastos, I think he did a little bit better today and winning some of the balls, not through the air, but through the ground. But again, poor overall performance on his part. He just looks like a shadow of himself. I don't know what's going on with him either. And he looks slow. Like, I know he's slow in general, but he looks slower this year, which is pretty hard to believe. So that was my overall take on it. I think moving forward, I'm definitely worried about this weekend. We play Chaves, which is going to be a tough match, especially because we can't get anything going offensively. I mean, I know it was against Juve, but damn, I mean, let's do something, man. More crosses, and even our crosses were poor when we did have the chance. So I'm just worried. I'm honestly worried. I think when January comes, we need to go purchase 2 to 3 players to bring onto the squad. So that's my take on the game.
And that's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
What was your overall team rating, Bruno?
I give us a 5, man. I give us a 5. I know we were good defensively, but that's not going to cut it anymore. It's not going to cut it in the Champions League, just being good defensively. We've clearly seen that in the Barcelona game, and now we clearly saw that today. So yeah, kudos to the defense, but when you don't have an offense, it's going to put more pressure on us defensively, and I just don't think we can cope with those type of teams playing like that. So a 5 for me, and Jorge Jesus gets a 5-2. I mean, his subs were questionable. Doumbia should have came in earlier. I think Doumbia at the end there, he had a golden opportunity to score. I think he should have scored. Throw yourself at the ball. I don't know. Do something. I mean, even Buffon thought it was going in. He couldn't believe it. So that's my overall grade for the squad.
Fair enough. I've got a few questions just off the top of my head to ask you all, and I'll start with Steph asking you this question. So, Dost and Doumbia obviously haven't been showing up to what they should be. So, do you think it's time to maybe start them both together? Start Podence, start Justin Dalla? What do you think, Steph?
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. But we need to do something that's obvious. Today, I saw Bastos being extremely slow again. I mean, I guess having Slimani, and he gave us fans the idea that a striker can do a lot more than just score goals, and now we're expecting that for every striker we get. But that's a job that comes from Jorge Jesus and the coaching staff. They have to send them a clear message that, listen, you're not here just to score goals, but you also need to pressure, especially games like today. The first defensive line should be the offensive line. The defense should start from them as well. So I don't see Bastos doing that. At least Jesse Martins does that. To his defense, he's been playing poorly offensively, but defensively he's been playing well. So, and Doumbia the same thing. He's that kind of player that he seems like he's just saving himself to play offense, but he never pressures the first line. So I'm disappointed at this point in time. Yeah, I would give a chance to Justin Dalla, or even Podence could never be a striker. He's way too small, but he could definitely be the number 9. So Definitely, we need to do something, a different combination, because what's going on now with the that sector, it's what's affecting the whole team. Our goalie is outstanding. Even the backup defense, they're playing well. Midfield, they're playing awesome. Um, Defense, as long as we have Coentrão, okay? Because without Coentrão, it's Jonathan Silva. Like Danny, I used to defend him, but that's it. I'm done and over with defending him, especially again today. We lost because of him, because he doesn't know how to mark a player. When you're a defender, you can let a strike of that quality gain over you, and he did again. And like in Olympiacos, 2 goals was his fault towards the end of the game. It's a good thing. It was just a few minutes left, so we have to go get another left back. That's urgent, urgent, urgent. Even if it's in the B squad, or look at the Liga NOS. There's some great players out there, but so I don't know. But as far as the strikers, I agree. I agree with with our listeners. We have to do something else.
Bruno, what would you suggest to improve the attack?
Let's start benching players, man. If they aren't performing, bench them. I feel like that's probably the best way to get the message across. If you ain't performing, you gotta take a seat. I would honestly love to see Gelson Dalla play. I think the kid on Spartan B, he's a phenomenal player. I know it's the second division, but I feel like given the chance with the A team, not the B team, but with the A team with better players around them, we could definitely see a special player in the making. Bulens, he's kind of can't put him as striker. I agree with Steph. More of like a center forward. But I think Bulens better off coming off the bench, for 15, 20 minutes. I think that's a better role for him right now. But going forward, I think Bastos needs to get benched. Maybe next game start Doumbia, see how he does. But if he's struggling in the beginning, I think second half we should honestly throw in Gelson Dalla. I don't think JJ has the guts, nor do I think he will do that, because it's just JJ. He's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Hard-headed. He's very hard-headed. So, it sucks, man. It honestly really, really sucks, because I was expecting a lot more from us offensively this year. And it just hasn't happened. So I would definitely throw in Gelson Dalla. I mean, why not? This offense can't get any worse.
I agree with you. Why not?
I hope not. So honestly, what do we have to lose going forward? I say give the kid a chance. You never know, man. You honestly never know.
Yep, I agree.
And if none of the strikers seem to be working, man, then I think come January time, we should definitely go pick up another striker. I mean, it is what it is.
Go get what's his name? The one we loaned to Boavista, Ruiz. That's his name as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Leonardo
the Colombian, right?
Yeah. I mean, when he was the preseason, he was actually doing really well, and we loaned him. So get him back. Get Francisco Geraldes back.
Yeah, Geraldes is definitely another one I would bring back immediately in January. He would be major help right away. So
I mean, we own them. So if we own them, let's take advantage and let's get them back. But we need to do something, for God's sake, because now we look very passive. We look like we lost our offensive sector completely. Completely. I mean, Porto lost yesterday against the Polish team, but they scored. They scored 2 goals. They lost 3-2. It was a tough game. Actually,
they played German team.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize. The German team, and but they have a great midfield and a great offensive line, and they were fast as fuck. I mean, wow. But at least they scored. But Sporting is struggling, and that sucks.
I think our offense has been crap since the Moreirense game. To be honest with you, we haven't ever since that Moreirense game. We've looked like a shadow of ourselves ever since that game, in my opinion.
Indeed, I totally agree. We started the season blazing, and now it's nice and quiet.
Yeah,
I don't know what kind of water we're giving them. What the fuck,
Yeah.
Danny, how would you improve the attack?
Honestly, I don't even know of this question because I would assume, like, at the start of the season, I would think Dost and Doumbia had enough in them to at least get some goals here and here and then. This drought, I'm pretty sure the scoreless drought will end sooner or later. But I want to play devil's advocate. Let's put Prudence up top. Look at how Napoli play. You're telling me, to me, Prudence is like a Mertens. He reminds me a lot of Mertens or Insigne, the little fast, fucking gets on every center back's nerves. He might not be big, he might not be be able to hold the ball, but we can just change that out of our game. Why can't we, revert more to a 4-3-3 rather than this 4-4-2? Have William or have Battaglia sitting deep, have William and Bruno, and then we have our wingers and we have Province. Instead of relying so much on crossing the ball, we rely more on playing behind the defender, on quick passes, on tricky play, on taking on the man in front of us. It's more than just the Oledos game, because Oledos is sort of like we were always going to win that game, and Province was always going to look good in that game. It's unfair for those third division players that work part-time construction to be up against Province and Province not shine, So why not play Province as striker? Again, look at Napoli. Napoli's probably one of the better teams in Europe right now, and they're killing it with two tiny wingers and a striker at top, and they always rotate, sort of the way Portugal would do it in the Euros, where Nani would rotate as a winger to a forward, and then again Ronaldo would do the same from winger to a forward. I don't know. Gelson Dalla, he didn't really impress me with Oledos. I've seen him play in the B team. He's really good. I don't know if it's his time yet. I don't know if we have to really recall Lisandro Ruiz from Boavista. I haven't been paying attention to him, to be honest. I don't know how many goals he has. Preseason, he looked decent, but I don't think he's Spartan quality yet. To me, I'd play Paul. To me, I'd go batshit crazy. I'd play Paul Vince. I'd change the tactics up because we need to change, because teams have figured us out. Teams have figured us out in Portugal, more importantly, because at the end of the day, us losing to Juventus, they were finalists for the last, 2 times in the last 3 years. I don't think there's, again, I know it's a moral victory, and I'm tired of that shit too, but at the end of the day, a loss against finalists, a loss against, probably one of the better defenses historically, probably one of the best attacks in Europe, paper-wise, with Higuain, Dybala, Mandzukic, Cuadrado, Douglas Costa,
Buffon.
At the end of the day, Buffon and that. At the end of the day, we are little old Sporting, and they are these giants, and we still gave them one hell of a game. So we still have to hold our heads up high on that. Again, I know it's a moral victory, and I'm sick and tired of those two, but
But Danny,
I think I'd rather a 2-1 loss than a 5-0 spanking.
No, I know, but the thing is, it's how we lost, bro. It's not even. It's again the same goddamn player. It's Jonathan Silva again, because he doesn't know how to mark a player, a striker, and that's what most Portuguese are complaining about. Against Olympiacos, 2 goals, it was because of him. Against Juventus, again, it was because of him. And
Fair enough. I agree with you there, but I also think our tactics let us down too, because the way we were going after the game, if you've seen Lazio against Juve on the weekend, I've only managed to see highlights, but Lazio was really going for it more. Like Sporting first half, we did nothing. Second half, when we were dominating possession, can you tell me a really like a blatant opportunity where we should have scored, minus that Doumbia part at the end? When we were dominating possession, we had nothing. We didn't necessarily go. We didn't. There was not once where I had my hands to my head, like, oh my god, we could have scored there, or we should have scored there. Not once. We were dominating possession, sure, but for sure, I agree. We definitely need to change something on the attack, but it's more than just personnel. We need to change our way of play. We need to change our tactics.
Yeah. I feel like we play slow. I feel like we play really, really slow. It's pissing me off.
Definitely, we do. Even in my opinion, what we can do also is one, we can try out. I know both of them are in a goalless drought. We can try out Dumbia and Doss together. We can drop Bruno Fernandes, have him come off as an impact sub. We have Battaglia and Williams sitting in our defense, solidifying it. Or we could, like I mentioned prior, we can sort of change up everything and sort of play like a Napoli, where we have two pacey wingers and an attacker that constantly rotate. It's up top, Gelson and Acuna. And then, we can have our midfield of Fernandes, Battaglia, and William. And really, our defense is good. It's like you guys mentioned. It's just Jonathan Silva that really needs to get his shit together when coming back to defend, because attacking he's fine, but defending he's something else. Our defense is fine. I think it's the tactics. I think the tactics let us down more than anything.
For me, I would put Podence maybe behind Dumbia for a game. And the reason why, I feel like Bruno Fernandes, I don't think much has been said about him, but I think he's dropped off in quality the last few games as well. I get that he can score fantastic wonder goals, but some of the shots that he takes, it makes you think just like there's no need. You have Gelson to your right, you had Bastos like straight ahead of you. There was no need to shoot it. And for me, he loses the ball quite often as well. That I didn't really notice at first, but maybe it's just happened ever since. It's like, the Harry Kane syndrome. They say he can't score in August. For Bruno Fernandes, he can't play well in October, it seems, because in August and September he was playing fantastic. One of the best players in the Portuguese league, but he's sort of dropped off a lot in quality. So for me, maybe Podence and Dumbia, or maybe Podence and Dost. I agree with what Danny said about the Mertens thing, that they're quite similar players, but I think that probably wouldn't work just because of the style of the Portuguese league. But that being said, like Bruno said as well, what do we have to lose if we play Podence up front? Bastos isn't scoring, Dumbia isn't scoring. Play Podence up front. Don't play Alain Ruiz, I was going to say, but play Gelson Dala. Just give someone a chance. Someone in the YouTube comments, the real Afrinski, says that Rafael is it Leao? You say, right? Yeah. He says he might be a good choice every now and then. He's got the skill, the pace, and the strength. But I'm dying to see the two Gelsons up front. What are you guys' opinions on that?
But there's one thing that everyone is forgetting. That Bruno Fernandes was supposed to be whose replacement? I'm asking you guys.
Adrian? No?
Yeah. Got it. And he's a midfielder. He's not a striker. He doesn't. They adopted him in the ninth position to play behind Bastos or Dumbia, but he should be playing as a number 8. So that he scored a few goals, but for a midfielder to score, X amount of goals, it's not expected. We expected that from our strikers. So with that said, if we put Podence, we have to take off bench Bruno Fernandes, or either him or Battaglia or William Carvalho. So which one are you going to bench?
Bruno Fernandes. For me, Battaglia and William have been playing much better recently than Bruno Fernandes has. Like I said, Bruno Fernandes takes shots that, like I said, he scored before, but when you've got options to your left and your right, there's no point in just trying to, I guess, go for glory. And for me, Battaglia and William have been, maybe not in this game, but games before, they've been fantastic. So I don't see any reason to drop them two. So for me, I'd drop Bruno Fernandes.
Well, I agree with you, but not really. I agree with you in certain games. I think in certain games, like now Chaves, I think we should play either Battaglia or William Carvalho as the number 6, and then the number 8, Bruno Fernandes. But games like today, it would have to be Battaglia and Williams Carvalho and Podence, and then Bastos or Dumbia. So it depends on the game that we play. Then I totally agree with you. But that's it. What do you guys think, Danny and Bruno?
As far as seeing both the Gelsons up top?
Yeah, and the Rafael Leão as well.
Well, Rafael Leão, I think it's still too soon.
Mm-hmm.
For the kid. I mean, I think it's great that he's been scoring. I think he scored 2 goals today for the U19 against Juve.
Yes.
So it's great on his part. Let him keep doing his thing. I don't think we should bring him up. And I think Gelson Dalla deserves a chance before he does anyway. So to answer that question, I don't think Rafael Leão should be up top just yet. I think it's still too soon for him. Let him keep developing. I think Gelson Dalla, like I said, we have nothing to lose. Bastos looks like a shadow of himself. Doumbia is inconsistent. So why not give Gelson Dalla a chance? And I agree. I don't think I agree with Steph. Depending on the game, like today, yeah, Budens probably would have been a better option. But in the league matches, I think Bruno Fernandes should still get the nod over Budens in the starting 11. I mean, you really can't go wrong with either one. I mean, I think they're both very talented players. But I still have Bruno Fernandes ahead of Budens, even though he is kind of sort of playing out of position. I think he's adapted to that position well. We just got to get our attack going, some crosses. We need to play faster, man. I feel like we play really, really slow. We take our time. We're very indecisive on offense. We don't know when to cross. We don't know when to shoot. And I think that's affecting us big time.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. On Rafael Leão, he is too young. I'm glad he's getting in the goals, and I'm glad he's making a name for himself. You're right. He also scored 2 goals today when the youth team beat Juventus 4-0.
4-1.
4-1. Sorry, but yeah, it's definitely too soon for him. He's only 18. But I mean, yeah, the 2 Jelsons would be good. My only thing is if we do play Gelson up top, I'd prefer we keep the way we sort of played today with Bruno Fernandes behind them or Paul Vince, either or, and then have Battaglia and William in the midfield. We just have to change our style of play rather than looking for crosses in, because that's not Gelson's game. Try to look for Gelson running behind the defender or if we do play with Gelson up top, we definitely have to change what we're doing, because what we're doing is kind of it's too dimensional. It's too, let's get the ball out wide to Acuna or Gelson or Piccini and Coentrão and try to send the ball in. It's too predictable. So yeah, let's throw in Gelson and see how they do together. I wasn't too impressed with Gelson when they played against Oleiros, but I mean, he didn't look bad. But yeah. Why not throw Gelson in? Like Bruno said a lot earlier, we have nothing to lose with throwing them in. Doumbia is definitely not meriting. He doesn't merit a start. He's only scored 1 or 2 goals today. He should have had that goal. I like Bruno Fernandes. He's a workhorse. He really runs. I think today he had I think it was 10 or 12 kilometers I seen after the game run. Again, he should have had an assist towards the end from Doumbia. So Doumbia does not merit a start. Aside from that Olympiacos game, he's been garbage for us. Dost only deserves a start because of what he did last season. I mean, he proved last season that at least he can bang them in, but this season,
but he's not doing that now. So
exactly, this season he's found out teams know how to defend against Dost.
How about this? How about this? How about Gelson Martins and Gelson Dalla up front, and then Podence playing winger? We got to do something. I would do something crazy like that.
I was going to say that too, because today Acuna has done nothing. He didn't really do that much today, Acuna. He's supposed to be a really good passer of the ball, a really good crosser, and he hasn't. From my knowledge, he has 3 or 4 assists.
But he held the midfield
from corners.
But he held the midfield. He had the midfield.
Acuna?
Yeah, Acuna.
Okay, he tracks back, fair.
Defensively, he played great. I know what you mean, but offensively, he lacks of that. I agree.
Yeah, he lacks that pace.
Go ahead.
He lacks the pace, and he also lacks taking on a player. We might get behind Gelson, but he's going off. He's going at against one of the better left backs in the world. So not every trick is going to work. Not every time. He's not going to get past Alexandru all the time. But we need that on both fronts, because the only thing we were doing today was looking where Gelson is and trying to attack from there. If we were maybe to go on the other side, we barely tested their right backs Stuaro or whatever his name is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think if Acuna came off, or if Paul Vince was in, or I think having a Paul Vince and Justin would be a lot better on that front, where we'd be attacking fullbacks, attacking center backs a lot better.
No, like you said, we're too predictable. So let's do something crazy. Let's do it against Chaves now. Let's put me personally. I'm not a coach. It's obvious, but I would put both Gelsons on the pitch together, and I would put Podence and change the whole thing, change the dynamics, because we don't have any dynamic whatsoever. We flat. We need CPR. We need something, you know.
Yeah, we need different tactics, and that needs to start with JJ. We also need to hold him accountable. Of course, the players aren't performing, but he comes up with the game plan. So something's got to give. He's got to change something. He's very, very stubborn. So do I think he's going to change it? No, I don't. At least not right now. Which is very sad. But I mean, something's wrong. And if we can see it, how the hell can he not see it? So.
Definitely.
I just got one more question, and it is about the Champions League in general. So, in order for Sporting to qualify for the next round, which we haven't done since 2008-2009 season, in which we also got destroyed by Bayern Munich, but let's not talk about that. But we need to beat Juventus at home, beat Olympiacos at home, and hope Barcelona beat Juventus as well. So the question I'm asking is, will it happen? Steph, will it happen?
Well, it's a possibility. Juventus now, when they go to José Alvalade, they'll have a different approach. They'll be like, "Oh shit, this is not a shitty team, so we have to watch our six." So I really believe they'll go to Alvalade playing the Italian way, which is playing defense and counterattack, which is they very lethal that way. But with that said, I think we're more than capable of winning against Juventus at home. We showed it today that we could have pulled it off. We didn't, but we could have. But definitely don't even include on the squad list Jonathan Silva. Just leave him at the bleachers or watching the game, in the stadium. Like you said, either put Bruno Cesar if you have to, or Vitovsky. He could play both positions, and then talk to Bas Dost and Doumbia, see what's going on with them. They have to sweat the shirt, and as far as I'm concerned, they're not sweating their shirt. I didn't see much for those two players, so we're more than capable of winning against Juventus. I think we can pull it off. Olympiacos, I don't think it'll be. I mean, we have to respect them, of course, but I think we'll win against them again, and. I really strongly believe that in Barcelona, in Catalonia, we could tie. But if we win against Juventus and Olympiacos, I think that's good enough to put us on the group stage phase, the second round.
Danny, what do you think?
Another tough group. So the only thing I don't think we'll pass, but I hope we can at least make Europa League, because I think that was very demoralizing of us last year, losing to Legia Warsaw the way we did, and then losing up the Europa League spot, because we can make a really good run in Europa League. No offense, Sam, but a lot of British people have this misconception of Europa League sucking and being shit and being boring and not wanting to go to Russia on Thursday. I know. But many other, I've heard it anytime I follow anything from any British soccer channel on YouTube or whatever, it's all Europa League jokes. And I think
except from when they win it.
Exactly. Except for, exactly. When Man U wins.
When they win.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, so I think we should make it to Europa League, and we can make a good run in Europa League. We have a good enough team to make semis, to make the final. You know what I mean? That might seem crazy, but we have a team that for the last 2 years have went up against European giants, and every single time we've been talking about how unlucky we were to lose. Real Madrid, we were unlucky to lose. Today, we were unlucky to lose when we faced Barca, unlucky to lose. So I think it's still possible for us to make it past this group. But I don't think that I don't think it will happen, especially now that we lost to Juventus. A tie, it would have helped. I don't see us beating this Juventus team because I think that when they play in Avalad, we're gonna sort of do the same thing that we did against Olympiacos, where we play Doumbia up front and try to use his pace to get in behind defenders and his pace and strength. But sorry, I'm going on a rant. Oh yeah, I don't think we have enough in us to make it past the group. But hopefully Europa League and a good run in the league, and I'm satisfied with that. To all Sportingistas, I don't necessarily think we care about Champions League because we know how unrealistic it is for us to win the competition. We're more interested in the league right now. So I think that for the time being, let's focus more on the league. And if we make it through Champions League, that's great. It's good financial gain, but it's nothing that we should sweat or worry about.
Bruno, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's done. I think today, for me, in my eyes, was the decisive game for us in the group. I said if we could get a result in Italy today, whether it be a win or a tie, we'd be good moving forward. That didn't happen, unfortunately. So I think we just need to cut our losses altogether with the Champions League. Obviously, don't lose out against that Olympiacos, so we can get into the Europa League, because I think we have a good enough squad, as Danny said, to make a deep run into the Europa League. I think that's a competition. As of course, I want to win the league, but just to have a European title, I mean, it is the Europa League, but the competition in the Europa League these recent years have been great. So I think it would be huge for the club, especially a couple years ago when we lost at home to Moscow. So I think it'd be great for us to lift that trophy. I think the Champions League, though, I think it's done. It's over with. We needed to get to the result today. We didn't, and especially we just look poor, man. And you can't look that poor against a Juve. You can't look that poor against a Barcelona. Although against Barcelona, we definitely had a better game. But today against Juve, I honestly thought we were poor.
Offensively, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Offensively, you can't against Juve, against Barcelona. If you don't have an offense and you're just gonna sit back, it's very, very, very hard to get a result playing against those giants like that. So I don't expect us to move into the next round. I remain hopeful, of course, but I think it's done. I think we'll make a really good run in the Europa League. And especially because I think, what is it, this year, there's only one team that makes it to the Champions League after this year. So I mean, if we win the Europa League, that's a direct entrance into the.
I think it's one automatic and one has to go to the playoffs.
Oh, one into the playoffs this year. Okay, so there you go.
Yeah, the champion of Portugal will go automatically, and the second one will go to playoffs.
Okay, there you go. So,
today was a really bad Champions League round because we lost, Benfica lost, Porto lost. So now we're relying on Braga and Guimarães to pull up some good games.
Hey, Braga look good.
Well, what I'm saying is, if we don't get any points this week, we're in trouble because we ranked number 7.
And also, Moscow beat Sevilla last night 5-1. So Russia's coefficient could be going up for that too. And it's not looking good for Portugal at all. And Besiktas, with the Turkish league just behind us, Besiktas are dominating the group.
Yep.
The Portuguese teams need to get our shit together if we want to keep with Europe. Because if we keep up like this in a few years, only one team's going to make it, and the first place team is going to go through a playoff, like teams like Maribor and Legia Warsaw and shit like that.
No, I agree. That's why I'll never get fans, and I'll include the Sportingistas in the mix. I'll never get Sportingistas, Benfiquistas, and Portistas wishing for all three clubs to lose because we hate them so much. I don't think like that. Today I was hoping that Benfica would at least tie or win the game, and yesterday I wanted Porto to win or tie the game. It didn't happen, and it's not good for Portugal. Not good at all. I don't think like most of our opponents or some of our Sportingistas. I don't think that way at all.
I'm 100% with you on that, man. In order to get better as a league, we need to do better. We need our club teams to do better. Now, I'm not saying let's have Porto and Benfica win the Champions League, for God's sakes, but at least get through the rounds enough so that we have more teams coming out of Portugal directly to the champions.
But even if they do, that's actually prestigious for Portugal. If
Right.
like when Porto won the Champions League, I remember I went to Tio Pep restaurant at Noik with my good friend Bruno from Tritugas. Bruno Freire is a Portista, and I watched the game with him, and I saw Porto winning the game. And it was a good game, and it was a Portuguese team, so you could be neutral and still enjoy a good game.
Not to mention,
Yeah.
there was a point in time a few years ago where Braga and Porto were fighting it off for a Europa League, final. We've really fallen since then, and I think even if we all do, okay, we don't make it past our group stages, let's say, if we all can at least make third, Porto, Benfica, and Sporting, and do a decent run in Europa League, I'm pretty sure that will help out our coefficient. If Braga continues to do well, it's right now we have to think about that. Hopefully Porto can make their group, but it's not looking like it. It's not looking like Sporting will make past their group. It's definitely not looking like Benfica are going to go past their group with 0 points after 3 games. So I guess we got to, as a nation, we got to focus our attention to the Europa League, and next year when that second place team, they have to make Champions League. They can't get off in the playoffs.
Agreed. 100%.
Else we're screwed.
Big time.
Final question, and I promise, I know I said that last time, but I just thought of another one, and it's predictions for next week's Sunday's game against Chaves, and I want the responses quite quickly, not in depth, just a scoreline. I'll start with you, Steph. What do you think the score will be?
1-0.
Bruno, score.
2-1.
Danny, score.
3-0.
Oh, I'll go with it.
My heart's talking.
And Steph, that leaves us with with my favourite segment, and that's the Sporting Universe. What have you got for us this week?
Okay, so let's talk about some good news. So far it's been bad news. So on the 11th of October, futsal, our futsal team was playing for the Futsal Cup in the main round. So there's the main round, there's the elite round, and then there's the final 4. So we won the first game 5-1 against MFC Curzon. Then on the same day, we had the under-15 Iniciads winning 2-0 against our rival Benfica. So we're in first place in that division. Then our handball team, we went to Bulnes and we won 32-24. On the 12th of October, again, the second game of the main round, futsal, Sporting won again 7-1 against FK Nicars. So at that point, we were in first place with 6 points. Then our table tennis department in the Champions League second round, we won again 3-1 against KSD Bulgaria, a Polish team. So we're in first place in our group of the Champions League table tennis. Then the Portuguese Cup, our A squad, they won against Oleiros 4-2. The goals, 2 goals by Palhinha, Mateus Oliveira, and our young player, 18 years old, Rafael Leão. So that was a good game, and the player of the game was Palhinha. Then on the 14th, table tennis in the Portuguese League, we won 4-0 against Primeiro de Maio. Under 19 juniors, they won 2-0 against Leiria. Futsal main round, the final game of the main round, we won 3-2 against the toughest opponent of the group, KMF Economac, and we finished first place with 9 points, qualified for the elite round, which will be in Lisbon in the João Rocha Pavilion. Last but not least, on the 15th of October, again, our table tennis second round, we won 4-0 against São Roque, so we're in first place. Our under 17 juveniles, we won 8-0 against Elétrico. Our under 15, they won away against Real 2-0. Our volleyball team, after winning against Benfica in the first round. The second round, they went to Viana and Castelo, and they won 3-0. So they're in first place as well. And our handball team, the fifth round of the Champions League, we lost against Montpellier. But just to give you an idea, Montpellier is a French team. They've won the title a couple times, and they a very, very tough opponent. The France itself has won the handball World Cup 6 times, so they're really good in handball. And today, the under-19 juniors, we went to Juventus and we won 4-1. What a game! Like Danny and Bruno said, Rafael Leão scored twice on the 9th minute and 19th, Miguel Luiz on the 41st minute, and then Jovan Cabral on the 44th minute. And that's all I have.
Thank you for that, Steph. Also, I'd like to say thank you for Bruno and Danny for joining us today. It was a pleasure listening to your thoughts on the game. If you want to follow them on Twitter, it's at BrunoSKO23 for Bruno, obviously. And then for Danny, it's Danny with 3 N's and then _S. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Sam Fonseca with 2 A's. Follow Steph on Twitter, it's at StephTechShader1. And follow Sporting Updates on Twitter at SCP Updates EN. If you're listening on YouTube, the SoundCloud and iTunes link will be available tomorrow. But that's all we have time for today. So again, thank you all for joining me. Good night.
Thank you guys for having me.
No,
Viva o
thanks, man.
Sporting. Viva o Sporting.